Okay, thought I'd just do a quick intro on popcorn popping and roasting. I know there's lots of them out there. Maybe this will give a little more complete information. I found that some gave you information, some didn't. Kind of starting with what I use, as this will probably be one of my last pops. I'm moving on to bigger. First, the machine. Find a machine that's an air popper that has the smooth bottoms. You can see that there is no mesh or anything like that in the bottom of the popper. That's pretty crucial. You hear lots of people talking about wattage. You want to get something over 1,000 watts. You find people talking about up to 1,500 watts. Not as crucial as the type of popper, because you can do some things with the wattage limitations. You see the box in the background. That helps control the intake air and warms up the air going in, so you can kind of adjust for wattage. So don't let that be a stumbling block for you. You can see I've got a couple of wire meshes there. Those are for cooling the beans. You see something that's a little different than I haven't seen anybody else do is you can see my little chimney, and what this is a smaller chimney. You'll see a lot of people using a larger one, but as you'll see later in the video of the roasting, when this is put in, it fits just in. It actually controls the amount of airflow and thus the heat. So I find this gives me very, very good roasting and consistency. Beans, as far as the amount of beans, I'm using about 150 grams, which is a lot by popcorn standards. You need to find out what you need to use for your popper so you still have movement in the beans when you first start roasting. And then of course any box in the back, that's for controlling temperature. With this setup I can roast on a very cool day or warm day. That should give you a start. As far as your beans are concerned, you'll learn about all the different beans as you go. My model of popcorn popper is called a pumper. They're fairly easy to find, but as I said, the biggest key is the type of bottom it has. You don't necessarily have to have the top there, but you'll see that I use that in the box combination to help control the intake. It warms the air, and I intake air from the chimney and pulls it into the box, into the machine, so it controls my temperature a little better. Extension cord is not a big deal as far as power loss. I'm not using a very long one. It's just mostly for convenience. Keep in mind, if you do use a long extension cord, it can affect the wattage to the heat of the popcorn popper. There's lots of information on the net as far as any kind of modifications or such that you want to make to the popcorn popper. Most of the modifications involve bypassing the thermal cutout, and that's a fairly simple thing to do. It's not really changing your safety factor because you're leaving the thermal fuse in there, so a catastrophic failure will stop everything and cut that fuse. You're just taking out the thermostat so you get a little more heat out of it. That is all. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you find it helpful, and on to the next video.